think Seattle Coffee should sponsor us. Just saying.
They're going to have to fight Red Bull for you.
They can bring both on board, man. It's enough caffeine.
Come on, intro! How good I'm getting at that.
Nice, dude.
I'm trying.
I like how you've become like dedicated intro cure. It's a nice what's the name, job of relief of job for me.
It's the only one I remember.
It took me a while to get that sentence out.
That's fine. Practice makes perfect.
I was
quite
about
the
to
power,
say,
eh?
so dude. I don't know, I say that a lot. Trying to be
Cognizant of it.
that, yeah. But yeah, we're doing fines and stuff. And I know you found a lot more than me. I've got stuff on order. I didn't mention in the previous video. I've got my absolutes coming, which I'm very excited about.
Yay.
So yeah, man. And I've also got a new bookshelf coming, which is not really comic related, but
But it will sit there and it will occupy this open area.
yeah. So dude, I don't know if you want to go first and maybe like,
Sure. Yeah, and it's funny. This is only half of what I've found and accumulated over the last couple weeks. All of the stuff here that we're about to show off is stuff that our good folks at Cosmic Comics, shout out to Shane and Karen again, hashtag Cosmic Comics. This is all the stuff that they've managed to get and find for me over the last little period. And then I'm pretty sure
keep you happy and bankrupt, which doesn't
the two
exist.
I don't know. I'm starting to think the two go hand in hand.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll just count off, shout out, and just go through them. I'll start off with some of the, I suppose you could say, bigger ticket items, at least in terms of size and volume and weight. The first one I got is actually quite a cool one. Look at that. Look at that.
Try and GoPro this a little bit.
Try and GoPro it. There we go.
Yeah.
Get the spines.
Nice.
It is the collected Doomsday Clock.
Yeah, dude, when you showed me this, which was a couple of minutes before we started filming this, I was like, yeah, I'm buying it. Like, it's just one of those things. And I was like, I swore to myself, I'm done spending. But because remember, we had this conversation where I didn't want to just buy volume one. Like,
Correct, yes.
So-
and I was of the same opinion when volume one came out in hardcover. I was like, maybe I'll wait for the full collected all-in-one thing. And then the smart, clever people at DC released volume 2 in hardcover that actually comes with this lovely little slipcase that you can keep both of them together in. And at first I didn't think I can't get it in. It's not the first time I've said that.
yo.
Can't get it in. When I first saw it, I don't know if I was sold on it. I was like, yeah, well, I don't know. Okay, I'm just going to put this down because I'm struggling.
Yeah. But dude, actually, like, I started with the single issues, like, and I lost track. I don't know why. So, like, I'm really keen. I know it's something that I've missed out and that I haven't finished reading it, like, is a has to. So,
Yeah. It's
so
so
that's going
sad.
to make it easier. So,
Yeah, I'm excited and I'm happy that I have it now. We're both huge fans of the original Watchmen, Alan Moore. And after, briefly, I part read it in patches. But the last bits that stick out for me, the last 2 issues are still fresh in my mind. And yeah, I really love that story. Maybe a bit long for Johns to get to the point. I don't know if it needed 12 issues.
okay.
But the ultimate thing that he's putting forward and laying out, I love the way it's for those that haven't read it or want to read it. Cool, great. I'll try not to spoil too much, but it really does come down to this whole how important Superman is and what he means, not just for the DC universe, but for comics as a whole. So I love the story and really happy that they went that route of here's a slipcase so you can have the two together sitting as one thing.
Yeah, I've got to be careful, dude, because I'm going to fall into this trap. Like, what would look amazing on my new shelf? Like, just buy.
And I'll be honest, there was a time where I was really just invested in TPs and just go the graphic novel route. But I do like hardcovers. And the thing I like about them is if they're not too big, because sometimes I think omnibuses can be a bit big and cumbersome and difficult to read, almost like you have to have them on a sturdy table in order to read
Yeah,
them.
I'll be honest with you, with the Seven Soldiers Omnibus, that's why I've struggled to
Yeah.
keep reading it. It's just because I've got it somewhere here, like, there. And it's just, like you said, it feels like I need a dedicated study table to go.
Not something you can just lie in bed and flip through.
Yeah.
But what I do like about those types of things is how they're bound like a proper book. I kind of get the sense that binding, that sturdiness about them would stand the test of time better than a TP almost glued together in some ways. Now, some of them, if they're small enough, okay, great. I'm pretty sure they'll last too. But when they get to a certain size or thickness, I have had one or two of them come apart on me because the glue in the pages wasn't done right and they separate and all of that. And I don't get that sense with some of these bound hardcovers. So there are certain things, and I say that I've got this Doomsday Clock like that. I'm now looking for the deluxe edition of The Watchmen hardcover because I want that bound and to sort of stand the test of time. Anyway, the next one that I got is large and in charge. It is the new Frontier book. Great story by Darwin Cook, the late Darwin Cook, shall we say. And this one is always, it's a funny, interesting one for me. It's heavy, very heavy. Comprehensive story, and it's absolute. And the thing that I love about absolute is some of the extra content you get with them. But this one in particular, I was kind of a latecomer to Darwin Cook and my love.
Yeah, me too. I also only saw there was covers that they did where it had like this thick black border on the single issues, and there was a Harley cover and
right.
I can't remember. I just vaguely remember. And that's when I found out about Darwin Cook, and he actually shortly after that died.
Yes,
passed away. Sorry. So yeah, I also haven't known about him for ages, to be honest.
I mean, and I was turned on to him. This story in particular, thanks to our good friend Dev. Shout out to Dev the collector, Dev the cartoonist. I wasn't too au fait with his work, and my initial first glance at it, the art didn't grab me at first. And then as I started getting into a lot of the Bruce Timm comics and art that was coming out, flashed me back to the animated series. And then it was just one hop skip over when I looked at Darwin Cook's art, especially in this. And the longer I look at it, the more I read through the original graphic novels that I have, and that I love Darwin Cook. I like how he tells stories. I like how he represents the characters, and especially in this one. Sometimes, some Justice League stories, especially the Johns ones, are a bit hard, dark, gritty in a way. And this is it's light, it's positive, it's hopeful, it's all of that stuff, and it's almost like he is writing it from that 50s era where, we've come out of a world war. There's a lot of stuff to get past, but we got out of this world war. We beat this ultimate evil power, and I feel that carries through in that book. It's very positive. It's very full of hope and optimism and light, and I like it. It's one of my all-time favorites, and it has been converted into an animated. So for those that are looking for it, look for the new Frontier animated.
Okay, I remember that.
And even the art is based on Darwin Cook's art. Darwin Cook helped with the screenplay, adapting it from his graphic novel to the screen. So very, very true representation to that story over there. Definitely worth getting and watching.
Nice.
Yeah. Next one that they managed to get for me, one that was introduced to me through multiple sources of the various people I watch online. Be it the Uncanny Omar from Near Mint Condition, the hardcover guy, all of those people. And it is The Wizard's Tale, a Kurt Busiek story. Fantastic piece here. And I mean, if you look at it, it's just riddled with fantasy and fiction. And if you like sword and sorcery, if you like any kind of inkling to Dungeons and Dragons and that whole thing.
There's actually, sorry, I'm changing topic now, dude, but I think it was the hardcover that I saw, and there's this story I want, and I can't remember its name, but it from what I could tell, it looks like it's about a bunch of lions.
Okay.
Freaking hell, it's going to bother me now. But
Thundercats.
I'll try putting it. But it looks like what would be the comic equivalent of Lion King.
Oh, wow.
But apparently it's this phenomenal story, and it's like this. It's flown under the radar. So it's not very like comic book-y. Like it's about these animals, and I don't know if they talk or what. But apparently it's like a really like gut-wrenching, like deep story.
Oh, nice. You should try.
Like I said, I will search and put it up on our podcast here. So
Yeah, awesome.
because I'm having a bit of a
Best thing, dude, just send a message either through Facebook or email to Karen at Cosmic, and she'll tell you if it's still in print available. That's been my mission of late, and they have tracked down a lot for me, as you can see. And in some cases, every now and again, you get that horrible bad news coming back, like no longer in print, and a sad emoji, sad emoji, sad emoji.
Yeah.
Some of these, I think, the next bunch, I don't know if any of these were tracked down for me so much as I won them in various auctions online. First one is quite a big, comprehensive Hulk story. It's the beginning with the Red Hulk, by Jeff Loeb and multiple artists like Ed McGuinness and who else did it? Arthur Adams and the likes thereof. I'm mostly an Ed McGuinness fan. I don't know why. The way Ed does very blocky, muscular-y characters. When he did Superman, Batman, I fell in love with his art. I like how he did Hulk here, and this is comprehensive.
Have you read it yet?
This I have not.
Okay, because I'm just thinking. I mean, Jeff Loeb did Hush, didn't he?
He did.
So I'm interested to see what he's done on the Marvel side of the world. I didn't even know about that title.
A lot of hit and miss with him with some folks. Some folks like Loeb's work. Some folks, and I do agree with some people, sometimes it's almost like some stories were phoned in, not as good as they could have been potentially. I think it's because he's very heavily involved in the series side of things, the CW and all of those things. So I know he was heavily involved as a producer on Smallville, the Arrow stuff, the Flash stuff as was coming. Loeb is heavily involved as a producer, co-writer on some things and that. So I think he has the tendency sometimes to get slightly diverted to the TV world. But overall, I don't have an issue with him as a writer. I do kind of like a lot of the stuff he's done. From Hush, the Superman, Batman run he had. Pretty sure this will be decent as well. This next one is a Warren Ellis with Alan Grant art, a Batman story, Batman's most monstrous battles. So it's...
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I think it's 3 different stories in here, but all around more horror type themes, him versus Clayface, the werewolf, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, I saw it. It was going for very, very cheap. And I thought, great, may as well pick it up, mostly because it's Warren Ellis and my love for Warren Ellis. Another one still on the dark side of things is the Doom that came to Gotham. You can see right there, very easy to tell the Mike Mignola art and the Mike Mignola influence there.
Yeah.
Of the Doom that came to Gotham. So interested and excited to read this one too. Then I picked up this one, nice hardcover, and it is the Lightning Saga that came out. This was just before the new 52 and they were DC rebooting everything. They relaunched Justice League, and I think around about issue 7 to about 10, 12, there was an interwoven crossover where it was Justice League crossing over with the JSA.
Okay.
And the whole story was about, if memory serves me, Lightning Lad from the Legion of Superheroes. So the Legion make an appearance in here, all of them intertying. And I liked it. It was one of those cool stories. Brad Meltzer and Jeff Johns. And yeah, the original 6-part run wasn't bad. It was all about the Red Tornado. But this grabbed me even more. I don't know why, for some reason. Some Michael Turner art, if I remember correctly, as well. So, very, very cool.
Nice.
Then, some that I was very excited to pick up on auction at a very good price was the 2 TPs here on The Question. There's the one. Volume 2 for people over there, The Question, and Volume 1. And yeah, we've spoken about it on several of our previous podcasts. Denny O'Neil, the late, great Denny O'Neil, doing some great work on The Question, defining his origin and who he was as a character. Really excited to read those.
Interestingly, dude, like I don't know much about The Question, but I really could picture, you know, like you still haven't done the homework of watching the new Joker, right?
No.
Okay, but anyway, it doesn't matter. But like, you know, the general direction they kind of went with, like the DC, here you go, do what you want, slightly lower budget. And I can picture The Question being one of those like offshoot characters that not too many people know, and they do like the sort of crime like vibe story.
Definitely.
I think it could actually really be like one of those, like it's a hit out of nowhere and people don't realize it.
100%. So probably in the right hands, the person who loves the character enough, definitely. And like I say, in one of our previous videos, I forget which one, the thing that turned me onto that character was the Justice League Unlimited animated show that came out around about the same era as Batman, Superman, those animated. And it was around about season 3 onwards is where they really widened the whole Justice League theme. The first 2 seasons were really focused on the core group, where you had a Green Lantern, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, those kind of core guys. And then as it changed to Unlimited, there were some stories where none of the big names were in it, and there was some that was just The Question with Huntress, say, trying to unravel some weird mystery. And then, he constantly comes in and out, and it's always some interwoven, larger, grand conspiracy plot. So, love that character, and I do want to get more into it. Another one, a story that I have read, but I wanted to get it in TP format, is The Infinity Abyss. This is kind of it was at the time an end or an evolution of sorts to the whole Thanos, Adam Warlock interwovenness about it. And I'll be honest, this one gets weird. I follow a lot of these Infinity stories by Jim Starlin, and this one in particular had me like really like, what is going on here? Multiple Thanoses, like Galactus comes into it, but different Galactus. It got really weird and freaky. I don't think it's one of my favorites, but I just had to get it because it's Jim Starlin doing Thanos. So it has its moments, but at times it did lose me with where he was going with it. Maybe I need to reread it. And then the last one that I managed to pick up and find is a Witchblade, quite a comprehensive one, and this is right at the era where Sarah Pizzini, the original Witchblade, she's passed the torch on to her heir, or she's going to. You can see she's in the picture. She's had a daughter, I think it is, and this daughter is going to grow up to be the new heir to the Witchblade. Okay. And the thing that I like about this is I think it's written by Ron Mars, and after meeting him at a Comic-Con, I'm quite have a special
100%.
place for him. And this involves like all of them, the Angelus characters, the darkness you can see gets involved. So,
and do you have volume 1 to 4 or not?
I have the Witchblade Origins stuff. So it's not really in line with this. Okay. But I know the Origins is a lot thicker, it's a lot more comprehensive. It has multiple stuff. I think I've got Origins 1 to 3. And I do believe that's a lot of the early stuff before Stefan Sedgwick comes on, before she has a kid and passes on the stuff, the Witchblade anyway. So hopefully I don't miss too much from what I have to where this kicks off. But I think this is a self-contained whole story, passing of the torch kind of thing.
Nice.
Yeah. So those are the finds that I managed to pick up.
Yeah, so dude, I know we strategically started with you because you had a lot more than me, but so I got very little. But the first one it's like a comic you got me, and thanks again, dude. It's super cool. So we talked in the previous sort of podcast that I'm a Grumpy Cat fan.
Grumpy Cat.
And I didn't even know that this came in comics, so keen to read it, but it's more just like I'm even stoked to have it as it is. It
I
looks
didn't
really
know it
cool.
came in comics either.
Yeah.
And again, funny enough, it was another one that our friends at Cosmic had on one of their random auctions. and it was bundled with 2 other issues that I really couldn't care about. But I bid on it because I was getting
Nice,
Grumpy
dude.
Cat for you.
Yeah, that's so rock and roll. And then the other one,
I just want to say, sorry, before you carry on, for those of you that don't know, you need to go through some of our previous podcasts. I don't know what episode it was exactly, but Mark shows off this very cool Grumpy Cat hardcover book that he has.
and it's got like multiple poses of Grumpy Cats, and it's like the go-to Grumpy Cat sort of fan book, I guess.
100%. So when he introduced me to that he had it, and I saw this, it was just a no-brainer.
Yeah, no, it's awesome, dude. Thanks.
Yeah.
And this, I know you've got it too, and I thought I'd talk about it. And the reason it's a find at the moment, it's the new Death Metal, which is the follow-up to the Metal title.
Let me try and get this one here.
Super cool foil cover. And yeah, the reason I haven't read it already, which I'm like holding back, is because I actually want to do a sort of reread and a recycle of Metal before and then read it again, because there was so much to take in and kind of refresh my memory and then start on Death Metal. So it's been hard, man. Like I briefly paged through it just to look at the art, but I was like, don't read it. Like I'm scared to, because there's a lot of parts of Metal that I've forgotten, because it was what as incredible as the story is when I read it, dude. I'll be honest, like you know when you tune out when you're reading certain things and you've like turned 4 pages and you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And that's why I want to read Metal again. I was in a weird place when I read it, but I know I like it from the bit I've read, and it's centered around Batman. So, and this looks like it's centered around Wonder Woman. I could be completely wrong. Yeah, so it sounds like I'm wrong. So,
yes and no, and I'm actually a little bit. You've kind of thrown a spanner into my semi-plan, because I do have the exact same issue, and I've read mine, and I thought that you got yours before me, and I thought, oh great, so Mark's going to read it, and then I'll read mine, and then we can kind of talk on camera about what we thought about it.
Well, this can be maybe like to be continued in reads.
Definitely, yeah. I'll have to do a wait for you to read yours, and then we can do a what did you think, what did I think, what did you like, what didn't you like, etc. So what I can tell you from reading it, there's a lot of, I didn't see a lot of the stuff coming that does happen in this, and it for me, it doesn't disappoint in some ways. It's almost like you heard Scott Snyder was doing this, it was going to be a sequel, and in my mind I go, okay, fine, so how are you going to top what you did in Metal? And right out the gate, he does some stuff in here that I was just like, wow, okay, I didn't see that coming, and it's on another whole level to what I thought, and I enjoyed it, and I'm hooked. I need to see where this is going to go. So curious to see if you.
And it is incredible that, like, as far as I know, this is going to be 6 issues. I don't know if there will be offshoots. There might be.
I'm sure there will be. Yeah. Oh, there is, because he introduces some new, like in Metal, where he introduced the Red Death, the Batman Who Laughs. There are other new characters here too.
Wow.
That so it's a whole next wave, if you like, and apparently there is a tie-in book that gives you
because there's also
the origins.
I think there's a new Robin or something, isn't there? Or am I just guessing and shooting in the dark?
Kind of. Yeah, you'll have to see.
I just saw an article and I was like, so
there are I don't want to say too much about it until you've read it, but there is going to be, and I've seen at least one, almost like it's a one shot that's got multiple origin stories in there, and
cool.
Funny enough, tied to that is there's some drama, an issue, I think, around Warren Ellis. He's done something, and the Justice Warriors online are kind of giving him gears. And it's gotten so bad that he had a story in here for one of the characters, not in this one, in that one shot that's coming out, and they pulled it. And they've subbed it in for something else. I don't know if someone else has done a makeshift makeup story, but Warren Ellis's whole thing has been pulled in favor of something else because of all the stuff that's now happening online around Warren Ellis and stuff that he's
cancel culture.
Yeah, exactly.
I do want to dive into our next video, like a little bit about that, but nothing hectic. But yeah.
So, if you liked what Mark and I were talking about here, or just like our content in general,
please like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification for more videos.
And yeah, do us a favor and find us on the social media platforms like Facebook and Instagram.
See you in the next video.